Today is Wednesday, April 16th, and the garden is fully planted, which is really nice. Except that's a white lie. There's like 4 more plants, but I think I'm going to put those somewhere else, not in the garden. There's just not enough room. I'm really not a good planner, so when I built this garden, I simply came up with a number that felt right for the size and built it. And before I had built it, I planted a bunch of starts. I just took my soil blocker and some potting mix and made a bunch of starts, a bunch of little soil blocks, and seeded them up, took care of them, babied them for weeks, and finally planted them all. I was also gifted about 20 tomato plants, which was awesome, from one of my neighbors. So she gave me those in addition to what I had. I think there's over 80 plants in the ground right now, maybe more. I have to count. I know it was 55 a few days ago. So yeah, there's still like 5 plants which need to go somewhere. I think I'm gonna maybe create a little garden up by my camper, just like in a pot, maybe a 5-gallon bucket, and put a tomato plant in there. I don't know. I really don't have any more room up there right now. And what was interesting is that I built a little swale in the garden before I even constructed it, just to soak that area more. And so a swale is a ditch dug on contour, so it fills up evenly. And that swale filled up, I believe. I didn't see it because I just didn't see it, but it filled up, and the ground was moist below that. So down the grade, it was moist. Up the grade, it was still a little bit dry. But that's where the bluff is, right? It drops all of a sudden and then slopes down. And so the bluff's here, my garden's here, the swale is somewhere around here. So that soil up here was still a bit dry, so I didn't really want to plant there yet. I want to maybe dig another swale above, right next to the berm, to catch the stormwater overflow and really saturate the soil, the entire garden. So even though I technically did have more space, I really didn't want to just start planting in the really dry ground. I don't think that was a recipe for success. So I decided to stop where it pretty much everything below the swale is planted, almost every portion of it. There's still an extra row available, but I'm going to save that for sunflowers and corn, which I need to put in the ground yesterday. But it feels good. It feels good to get that in there. One of the watermelon plants is, this long compared to how it was a few days ago. So that was really cool to see. And some of the little tomato plants are struggling that I had seeded. And it's not, it's just a little bit late in the season for some of those. I tried to plant everything as close to the full moon as possible, but definitely a couple days late on some of those. Really not sure how that's going to affect it. But, this is a big experiment for me to see kind of what works and what doesn't. A lot of those tomato plants got in on the full moon, the day of the full moon, on that Saturday night. So I'm really hoping I can keep everything alive and have some produce. There's already I picked my first borage flower today, which was wonderful. It's a cute little blue flower. It's supposed to taste like cucumber. I'm not sure if that's how I felt. But it was a little bit sweet, and it was nice. It was a tasty little treat from the garden. But I'm already getting excited about the next garden. I want to start compost now for the next garden so that I can lay that down during the planting. For this garden, I simply dug a hole, put some biochar in there, and kind of top dressed it with some manure, and then mulched with the straw that is on the property from the local grasses. So I would really love to develop some compost from the manure that the horses, the cows, and the burros drop, and along with some of the flood debris from, I believe, 2 years ago now, maybe 3. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of sticks and mulch and just little bits of stuff way over by the creek. So I'd love to bring that over, mix it with the manure, maybe trim some of the mesquite, get some green in there, and create some compost for the next garden. Because, right now there's only about 8 different types of vegetables growing in there, and I want like 20 to 30 different types of vegetables growing here. So I'm gonna need another garden. This thing could be expanded. I can cut those cattle panels or the hog panels and get more and then expand it out. But this is it for now. And so I need to find another location for the garden, for a separate garden, and start making compost for that. Because, I did a little soil test, and I think I have silty loam. I think that's what I have it right here. You can't see anymore because I dumped out the water, but I'm going to do a little video on this, and I'm pretty sure what I have is silty loam, and I just need a little more organic material in there. Technically I need more sand for it to be a proper loam, but I know that mixing sand with clay is going to create more of a concrete type mixture. I've done it here before. So I really don't know how people get sand into their soil or get the, organic material without tilling. I don't want to do any tilling to kill. I don't want to kill all the life that's in the soil, because it is alive. You scoop it up and there's bugs in there, and it's still moist, and it has an aroma to it. So I don't want to till and destroy all that. But I do want to add things to create a better environment for the vegetables that I want to grow.